for today's video, I wanted to do a nice little review about the Alice's Collections Invisible Doll Stand. So here is the SD sized one, and I also got the MSD sized one for little Sukiko over here, since she's never had a stand of her own. I thought this might be a really helpful video in case anybody was wondering about these stands. I had never seen them before. This is my first time ordering from Alice's Collections, so they looked really interesting. I was really impressed with the photos of, you know, these stands holding up these resin dolls. And I actually saw Ann Picaro in her Alice's Collection video. She showed off the stands that she had bought, and it was holding up her Dalmor Alex, I believe. And it was just holding him one-legged like this, clamped around one leg in midair. So I was like, okay, I need to get these stands for my girls, because if you're gonna hold up a resin doll, you can definitely hold up my vinyl ladies. So first off, I'll just talk about, you know, my experience ordering from them, because this was my first time ordering from Alice's Collections. So it went pretty smoothly. I ordered on July 24th and paid and got a confirmation, and then 5 days later, on July 28th, I got the shipping notice, and then 5 days later, on August the 1st, I got the tracking number, because they told me in the email they would send me the tracking number when it was available to them. And then the stands ended up arriving on August 10th. So it was about like 2 weeks. It wasn't that long. It kind of felt long because I knew they were coming and I'd been waiting for them to show up in the mail. But it really wasn't that long. It was a very smooth process. I didn't have any problems with them. So it was pretty great ordering from them. I would definitely order from them again, since I had no problems at all. So on to the stands. So first off, I'm going to talk about the putting them together, because they actually don't come with any instruction. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, really. So I guess you don't really need instructions. But so here's the base, and the base is acrylic. It's very nice. You know, the edges are very clean cut. Let's see. Yeah, you can see that. It's very clean cut. And so here's the bottom. As you can see on the bottom, there's a washer. So that's what you want on the bottom. So, and then on top, when you get these in the package, the nut will already be attached to this. So you want to keep that on and tighten it on. And then you're just gonna, like, you know, screw it in. Screw it in till it's tight, and you can get a little wrench and tighten it some more. And just be careful not to over tighten the nut, because it is acrylic, you don't want to end up breaking the base. So just be careful with that. So and then the rod for this is actually like a bendable rod, and it's very extremely sturdy. Like, you really have to use a lot of strength to be able to manipulate it. So definitely when you're readjusting the rod part for whatever pose you're going to put your doll in, be sure to hold it from here, from the base, and then, you know, do your bending and whatnot, because you don't want to hold it from the base right here and do this, because then you're probably going to crack the acrylic base, and you don't want to do that. So as I said, you're gonna have to use a lot of force to manipulate this, but you know, you can get a lot of cool poses out of this. You just have to have some patience with it to work it. So, and then here is the clamp part, which is plastic and has some screws in it. It's already assembled, so you just have to screw it on to the rod, and the end of the rod. So there's also silicone wrapped around the claws of the clamp, and that's really helpful to keep a grip on your doll. And it's very again, like, you have to use a good bit of strength to push it in and out. So, but you do want to be careful with it because it is plastic, so you don't want to crack it. But it's very sturdy. So I have to say I'm really happy with these stands. I've tried a couple different poses with them, and I've been able to do the flying poses as they have advertised on their page. And if you're, you know, handy with Photoshop, you could definitely Photoshop the stand out. Or if you saw in the opening where I showed these girls, you know, on the stands, if you have it angled just right, the rod will actually be hidden behind them. So the only thing you'd have to, like, if you wanted to Photoshop out, would be the base part. But I really like it. It's very sturdy. It's definitely worth the price. So very excellent price. So the SD one is $25, and then the MSD one is $22. So it came out, let me check my paper because I wrote it down. So it came out to $47 plus the PayPal fees that they charge. They have you pay, which it came out to $184. So the total was $48.84, and I actually qualified for free registered airmail, so that was nice. So I didn't have to pay for shipping, and I still got a tracking number with it, so it was pretty good. No, pretty excellent price, I shall say. I definitely will have to shoot Alice's Collection an email asking if they do replacement parts for these stands. If they do, that's like a super plus. But so we'll see about that one. Also, the packaging was really great for these. The box was just sized just right. It comes, you know, disassembled, so everything was packed in bubble wrap and very, very snug in the box. So it was very, very good. Also, where is it? I don't have it with me, but they also included like a little bit of magic eraser as a gift in the box, so that's cool. I'm gonna put that in my doll carrier when I go out. Can never have too much of that, right? You know, for, you know, dirt and whatnot to clean off the dirt off your dolls. So I talked about everything I like about this stand. So the few cons that I could think of is that, one, the base is quite large. A lot of people don't like large bases because, you know, it takes up more room on their shelf, or because, let's say you have, you know, two stands with large bases and you want your dolls to stand next to each other. They're not really going to be standing next to each other, like, close. But, you know, if you have two of these stands, since the rod is bendable, you can just, you know, fix that in a way, that way they are actually standing together and not just, you know, in the same area. Then two, the base is acrylic, so it will scratch very easily. I've already scratched it a few times just from using it and just from bumping into things and whatnot. And also, I do plan on taking these stands outside, so if you're gonna take these stands outside, you'll definitely scratch them up. So just know that, in case you know getting scratches on your bases is an annoyance to you. Do know that will happen. Also, because the base is really light, it's really light, and I wish it were heavier, but because it's light, if you're doing the flying poses or anything like where your doll is in midair, you definitely want to make sure your doll is centered with the base, because if you have your doll, you have your doll all the way out here in midair, your doll could just be like this, like the whole stand might flop over because, you know, the base is so light, you know, your doll just take it down. So definitely make sure you keep your doll centered over the base when you're doing those types of poses. And if you're going to keep that doll in that position, in the flying position, I would just be careful. You know, you don't want your doll to, you know, fall and, you know, something happen to it. So definitely take care about that. So that's those were all the cons I could think of. I guess also, as you are playing and posing the rod, it may come loose, so you may have to like re-screw it, just screw it again to tighten it. So that's about it for the cons. I also wanted to do a little comparison with some other stands I own. So first off, I'll grab the one nearest to me, is the Obitsu Multi-Clear Big Stand. I got this like 2-3 years ago. I had seen the ads from A-Zone advertising it with their 50 centimeter vinyl dolls and showing this stand like holding them up in, in midair and whatnot. I thought, maybe that could work for a DD, and it was a little cheaper than a Volks stand. So this stand was 2,600 some yen. I got it off Ami. They still actually have these in stock. And then plus shipping. So at that time, I probably paid about $30 total for this stand. It's not the greatest stand. So as you can see, the base is large. It's just as large as the Alice's Collections stand and also the Volks stands that I have that I'll show you. It's very scratched up because it's plastic, and that's just what's going to happen, just like I was talking about with the Alice's Collections base. So it just pops together like this one. Yeah, it just like pops together. That's how it attaches, along with screws for the bending parts. And it's made all of plastic, has some screws in it. It also has a clamp just like the Alice's Collections stand, but this in no way compares to that stand at all. This is, it's not a great stand. It's not a terrible stand, but it's not a great stand. They advertised it as being you could do it 2 ways. So you could, make it put it together this way. So you could, do these bendy poses and whatnot with it. And the other way is just a straight stand like this with it not moving. And they advertised it that you could take it apart and switch it up. I found for me with this stand that I really couldn't do that, because when I tried to take apart certain parts, they wouldn't come off. And because it is plastic, it is prone to cracking and whatnot, so I just left it in this particular mode, so to say. And it's more of a balancing act with this stand, so I don't really recommend it much. Volks also has a plastic stand of their own that got released a little bit after this one, and that is a waste of money. Please do not buy the Volks plastic stand. It's a waste of money. The plastic is a lot thinner than the Obitsu one, and it's just doesn't hold your doll up well at all. It's even more balancing with that one than this one is, and you definitely don't want to leave your dolls held up with that stand at all, because it'll probably just fall over and break. It's that flimsy. I've played with it because one of the other local DD guys, he bought it for his dolls, and he found he didn't really like it too much either. So yeah, I don't recommend buying that. I don't own that one, and I don't really recommend this one either. Like, it's just it's an okay stand, and it's, for $30, it's not really worth the price that I paid for it. So moving on, also it can be as tall as this, and if she's not wearing heels, that's gonna be about where her bust is. So that's how tall it gets. Then we have the Volks stands. And here is the saddle stand with the wooden base, and this is the first one I bought from them. I wanted the one with the metal base, but they didn't have it in stock, so I ended up getting this one. And it's a good stand. The Volks stands are very sturdy. I've not had problems with them. Haven't had any breakages yet. The tab to tighten the rod in is plastic, so it will eventually break over time. Mine's already showing a lot of cracks in it. It hasn't broken yet, so, but you can replace it. And it also, just like the Alice's Collections stand, the bar parts of it are wrapped in silicone. And so is the other Volks stand that I have from them, which is this one, the waist stand with the metal base instead of the wooden base. And then you also have this little tab here to tighten this, and it's already at its tightest, so that's how tight it'll get. This, if you have it around the waist of your doll, let's get my doll over here to have a little, so you can see. Pop this up. So she's, if you keep it around the hips, it's better, because if it's up here where her waist is, it's just floating. It's not really tight around her waist since her waist is so small. So, and this gets as tall, you can't pull the rod out too far, so without her heels on, it goes again to about up to her bust as tall. That's as tall as it gets. And then it's about the same for the saddle stand. It's gonna be like, that's as tall as it gets, as tall as she has heels on. So, and then this is how she looks with it on. And this only looks good if your doll's wearing, now let's see, that's how tall it is, it can get. But it only looks good with skirts. So if your doll is wearing pants or shorts, it's not gonna look great. It looks like something's attacking their crotch. So that's what you can expect from that. This here. And so both those stands are really sturdy. I've not had problems with them, but they're very expensive. They both cost $55, and that's before tax and before shipping if you need these shipped out. So they're quite expensive, but they are sturdy. So if you have the money and really want them, you know, I say go for it. They make for nice display stands too, especially the wood base one. I've taken that out a lot, but if you don't want the wood base to get messed up, I don't recommend taking it out for outdoor shots. It would be more preferable for you to get a stand with a metal base instead. So that's about it. Then the MSD stands from Volks are $50, and that's before tax and shipping if you need it shipped. So that's my little comparison of all the other stands I own. Also, this stand can get as tall as I believe it says on the product page 70 centimeters. So that's how tall this one can go. Yep, so I think that's pretty much it for my my little review. Here's the MSD size stand. Very, very nice stand. See, like, position it just right. You can't even see the rod, no? Thing's nice. And then here's the back, how it looks. So, definitely recommend the Alice's Collections Invisible Doll Stand. And let me know in the comments, you know, what you think about them, if you also own these stands, any of these stands, you know. Also, oh, hold on, I'm not sure, maybe somebody else who has ordered from Alice's Collections and gotten these stands could tell me. They also included like these silicone pads. There were only 2 of them, so I didn't really understand what they were supposed to be used for. I've seen somebody else open their package and of these stands, and you know, it have the same thing, but I'm not really sure what to do with it. Like, I mean, you wouldn't put it on the bottom because it's just one and it would make it uneven. I'm not really sure. So if anybody knows, you know, let me know. So yeah, that's about it for this video. So I will try to get this uploaded as soon as possible, and I will try to do the Petic prompt soon too. I know that was supposed to be my next video, but I wanted to do this one first because I thought this one would be a little more informative for anybody who was thinking about buying these stands. So yeah, so alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Alright, bye!